we're here in Paris, I sat down with the chairman of Stellantis and Ferrari, John Elkann. He is the successor to a long line of Italian industrialists. His great-great-grandfather, Giovanni Agnelli, founded Fiat at the turn of the 20th century. Today, his family's $35 billion portfolio includes Stellantis, Ferrari, and agricultural machinery maker CNH, also Philips NV. Another family tradition these days is attending the Olympics.
That's when it all started to really experience what incredible event is the Olympics, and we were fortunate to have in our hometown of Turin in 2006 the Winter Olympics, and subsequent to that we went to Beijing in 2008, and then we had our kids and we took them to London in 2012, and we went to Rio, couldn't do Tokyo, and happy to be here in Paris.
Your grandfather, Gianni Agnelli, was somebody who was a huge industrialist in Italy. I think at one point, his company, Fiat, what he was doing was responsible for something like 4.4% of the GDP, maybe 4.3 or 4.4% of the GDP in Italy. You all had 3.1% of the workforce there and 16% of the industrial investment when it comes to research of what was going on at that point. And I think that speaks pretty clearly of what's happening. Today, you all are Stellantis, Ferrari, CNH, Industrial, Philips, so big industrial companies. And I guess I wonder, when you look around, business has changed over time. What do you think in terms of what your vision is, what you'd like to do?
Well, I think it's really important for companies like the ones we're involved in to continue to renew. What we really are is builders. What we enjoy doing is building companies and doing so with great people. And that effort that we do, particularly with companies who are, for example, in the case of Fiat, now Stellantis, over 3 centuries, or a company like Philips, which is the most recent one we are involved with, who also ranges over 3 centuries, is that ability of renewing. So as long as you're able to stay current and not be constrained by your history, but on the contrary, be pushed by your history, that allows you to always look forward. And most important is that what you're actually doing and providing, it needs to be valuable. It needs to be important for your customers. It needs to be important for the communities in which you operate. And ultimately, it does have to have a positive implication from a societal standpoint.
Stellantis had a difficult quarter, and there are a lot of people who wonder what's next. What are you thinking?
I think the car industry has a lot of competitive pressure points at the moment. There's more competition. There's also more regulatory changes. There are more technology changes. And on one side, this is exciting because it just allows to have much more innovation and pushes all of us to try and do better. On the other, you will have more volatility and you will have more difficulties.
One of the issues here in Paris in the Olympics has been this idea of sustainability. The way they built the Olympic housing that they've set up for the athletes, trying to make sure that they didn't have air conditioners and they used the Seine River to try and keep things cooler. Through Stellantis, you all have a partnership where you've been working with hydrogen taxis here. What does that mean, just the sustainability efforts and what you all are doing here?
Well, the important is really to try and see how we can use resources to the minimum and in the most effective and efficient way. And I think that's been very helpful. And having high ambitions like Paris had with these Olympics and trying to make sure that we could operate in a decarbonized environment is one that then creates challenges which are exciting to try and see how you can come up, in our case, with vehicles that will be able to be decarbonized, and also what type of new technologies like hydrogen you were mentioning, which is going to be very difficult anytime soon to apply in other areas.
John, we've been talking broadly about luxury because in recent weeks and months, we've seen a lot of the luxury makers come out and say that the demand is not there, at least what it's been in the past. As chairman of Ferrari, what do you all see with demand?
Ferrari works on backlogs, so we really are selling today cars that will come to our clients in a couple of years. So it's a different model than what other luxury companies do, and it makes it much more predictable. We also are much less exposed to China, which has been the largest luxury market in the world. There's a level of patience, which is different.
What does Ferrari mean to you, to your heart, I guess?
Ferrari is a company which is a very special one, and it's a lot about passion, because what you're engaged in has incredible, strong interest. The racing activity, and we're here in the Olympics, so it's a perfect backdrop, is really a win which it pushes you, and it's a big team. It's 2 pilots, but then you have a huge amount of engineers and technicians who are really there to help those 2 cars to perform at best, and hopefully today they will do well. And that spirit of competition is really one that fuels our company and everything we try and do. And then aspiring to build what are the most special supercars, and that blend between how you can make them pretty with the aesthetics but also extremely powerful is definitely a company that is immersed by passion and a very strong sense. It also represents Italy, so there's a strong national identity of it, and one that's very linked to our country.
You are somebody who grew up in the family business, and you really took this head on from the very beginning. You started working in some of the car plants, some of the car businesses, incognito. You were like the original undercover boss, going in when you were a teenager, even like in your years and your summers in between. What happened? What did you do?
Well, I always was genuinely interested in learning how things were done. So I had the opportunity of doing internships, both in the factories or also in dealerships. And my studies were engineering. So as an engineer, you don't really, it's very conceptual rather than practical. So also being able to try and tie what you were studying and also what it meant actually being done. And I do think that working in a factory, being on the shop floor, is very important to really understand how you not only build something, but also you build with others.